That's not waiting. Hey, hey, puppy, hey, sit, hey, Apollo, hey, focus, please. What are you focused on the floor for? Hey, thank you, just stay. That's not staying. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Brittany. If you haven't subscribed yet, you probably should, because I normally talk about geeky things, but sometimes I get animals and add them to my zoo, and today I thought I would too, since when this video goes up it'll be really close to his 6-month birthday, I guess. And so I wanted to do a little video about an update on Apollo. Since the last time you guys saw him, he was still quite small. You know, he's running off to go do probably something naughty. So Apollo was born March 22nd, 2021, which means he'll be 6 months old September 22nd of 2021. And he's gotten a lot bigger, obviously. That's what puppies do. They grow, especially when they're large breed dogs. But what really surprised me is he's actually not as big as I was expecting him to be. Cosmo was 60 pounds at his neuter, which happened at 6 months. And Apollo is probably about 40, so he's much smaller than Cosmo ever was. I was expecting that because Cosmo is a very large golden. He's unusually large, but here's what Apollo looks like now. So this is Apollo, and he's huge. Like I said, he's about 40 pounds now. I can do squats with him. I should do squats with you. That'd work. But yes, this is how big he is now. He's in between his collars, so he still has his baby collar on, but he also has his adult collar on, because his baby collar is what I use to have his leash, and his adult collar has his name, so because it's engraved in the clasp. So he will be going in to getting neutered in about, I don't know, a week and a half or so after he's 6 months old. And I know there's gonna be a lot of people who go, large breed dogs, you're supposed to neuter a lot later. And while that is true to an extent, my vet says he's perfectly capable of being neutered at 6 months. We were initially planning on waiting to go about 9 months, but he is showing signs of some slight aggression towards Cosmo, and still won't leave Nova alone. And so I am hoping, even though I'm fully aware that that attitude may not change upon his neuter, it is also very possible that his attitude could change, his personality could change, could alter slightly to be a little less dominant once he is neutered. So that was when Cosmo's attitude kind of changed, so I'm hoping the same for Apollo. So I did speak with my vet about it, and my vet and I both came to the conclusion that neutering him at 6 months is actually not the worst thing to do in the world. So while yes, it is true, most large breed dogs, you should wait until 9 months to a year. My vet explained to me that with a golden retriever, especially one that's going to stay a bit smaller, it's not going to be a big deal to neuter him at 6 months old. So I am not concerned in the slightest to be neutering him at 6 months. So just be aware, I am not just making this decision all willy-nilly. I did speak with my vet in detail about our options available. The original plan was to wait about a year, and then that got moved to 9 months, and now we will be neutering him at 6 months. So, plus he'll be microchipped at 6 months as well. They're going to microchip him at the same time as neutering him. And if he has any baby teeth left, which I don't think he does, he actually just lost another one that I didn't expect him. He just jumped up into the windowsill. He fell out of it because he's too big for it. But this puppy, he's a bit much. None of that is yours. None of that is yours either. None of that is yours. Go find your things. Anyway, this puppy is a lot. He's really, really smart. He's going through puppy training right now. Actually, tomorrow will be his final puppy one class. Then we're moving into puppy 2. He'll go into the adult classes as well. And then he'll also go into therapy training, good citizenship training, and of course agility training, which with how much he already jumps, he has jumped up onto my bookcases, my Calyx bookcase over by my other window. He just jumped into this windowsill. He can leap over the arm of my couch. Considering how much he jumps and how good he is at jumping, I think agility is the right path for this little guy here. He has the craziest personality. He is the sweetest puppy on the face of the planet. He loves to cuddle. He loves to hug. So what he'll do is he jumps up into your arms. He puts his paws around your shoulder like this, and then he'll just like put his he'll put his head like this. It's the sweetest thing in the world. He loves giving hugs. He loves to play, obviously. Some of his favorite things to do are to play fetch. Obviously, he's a golden retriever. That's built into their breed. He loves to play catch. So I'm starting to wonder, maybe we'll do some field work as well. I have no idea if we're going to go into field work or not. And again, that's built into his breed. And he also loves to play tug of war. He and Cosmo sometimes will play tug of war. He tries to play tug of war with the cat. So he'll take one of the long toys we play tug of war with, and he'll kind of toss the other end towards the cat. The cat gets very frustrated and angry about it because, you know, she's a cat, doesn't play tug of war, but at the same time, he just loves to play. He loves his whole family. He is obsessed with my mother. He's obsessed with my father. The kids are obviously his favorite things ever. And he, again, just loves to sit and cuddle with me. And he's so good about his crate. His crate is his safe space, which is exactly what crates are supposed to be, which is a huge difference from when Cosmo was a puppy. Cosmo hated crates, didn't like to be confined in a crate. Apollo gets excited when it's time for him to go take a nap in his crate. He doesn't nap otherwise, which I think is really interesting. He loves to go out and chase things outside. Again, that's part of his breed. He has a high prey drive. One of the highest prey drives I've honestly ever seen in a golden retriever. Granted, I've only ever had one before, but I grew up with a golden retriever. My aunt and uncle had one. And I've also known other people, other friends that I've had over my lifetime have had golden retrievers. Granted, most golden retrievers that I knew were British breeds, which tend to be more show than field work. Cosmo is half American, half British breed, and then the one that I grew up with that my aunt and uncle had, he was an American breed, and then Apollo, of course, is an American breed golden. So meaning that he just has that darker color. He's taller, lankier, has the longer snout, whereas the British breed tends to be shorter, stockier, more square face with a shorter snout. But yeah, so I mean, he is doing so well. He's thriving at home. When I first brought him home, he couldn't even get onto the couch. He had to climb onto the couch, and now he's jumping onto the bed, which is not quite as high as a captain's bed, but it's pretty high because it's got drawers underneath, so it's a pretty high bed. And like I said, he jumped up on top of, oh yeah, what did you see outside? He jumps on top of the Calyx that's long, you know, sitting along my anime shelf, if you've ever seen it. And then he just jumped up into the windowsill. So he is just the sweetest little guy in the entire world. Some really funny little quirks that he has. He took on something that his mother did while I was there, and that was doing this little weird snarl thing. But it's not really snarling. He's not being aggressive. He's just simply smiling. So whenever he's excited about something, he will, it looks like he's snarling, like he's growling, or like he's being aggressive. But he's really not. He's actually just really excited and smiling. He does it to literally everybody, and luckily everybody in my life at least knows a little bit about dogs, at least enough to not be freaked out by it. Kelly has not met him yet, who is not a big fan of dogs, but hopefully she won't be too weirded out by his snarl thing, but she's already not gonna like how personable he is, how tactile he needs to be. So Kelly, watch out. He is fully potty trained at this point. He does still have accidents. accidents are going to happen. Cosmo continued to have accidents up until he was about a year old. So that's understandable. You know, you can come across all these people who say you're doing it wrong if they're not potty trained within a week. I don't necessarily believe that at all. I think that obviously potty training is different for everybody. Speaking of which, I think he might actually have to go out. But all dogs are different. And it did take Cosmo quite a long time to become potty trained as well, because there's a couple of different things that need to happen while potty training. One, the dog has to understand that going outside is what the dog needs to be doing and going inside is not okay. But they also have to learn that they can hold their urine, and they also have to learn that they can expel all of their urine in one go. Dogs are prone to not expelling all of their urine in one go because they're used to marking, so they're used to going to different places to pee. And so they, you know, when you don't have time to let them go about and mark, they do have to learn how to expel all of their urine in one go. They also have to learn that they can hold it. So it's going to be different for every dog. It's going to be different for every dog owner, and you're not doing it wrong. I know plenty of people whose dogs were not potty trained within a couple of years. They still had accidents in the house after a couple of years. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means that it's taking a little bit longer, and that's okay. So that, I think, is really important. We are right now 3 days accident free. We did have a little bit of an accident, but I think that was more or less my fault than it was Apollo's fault. He did accidentally poop in his crate the other day, but I think that was, again, mostly my fault than it was his. So, because usually when they go in their crate, it's because they just genuinely can't hold it. So definitely more my fault. But most of his accidents, if they occur, are at the door. And I think mostly just based off of being excited. And again, that's another piece of it. Don't feel bad if your dog is having accidents because they're excited. That's actually pretty normal for dogs. They pee when they're excited, they pee when they're scared. It's pretty normal. But yes, I would deem Apollo as officially potty trained. He knows he has to go outside. He goes to the door when he has to go potty, and he doesn't have as many accidents in the house. And when they are accidents in the house, it is while he's at the door. So that is where we're at with Apollo right now at 6 months old. I will do another update when he's a year old. We'll talk more about his training and where he has been with that. Puppy training is very basic. It's sit, stay, come, walking on a leash, all of those kinds of things. So very basic training. As we get a little bit further along, we're going to be doing a lot more intense training. The therapy training and the agility training certainly won't come until after he's a year old, but we're going to work towards that as well. And I'll make videos about those kinds of trainings as well. The more advanced trainings, the more kind of exciting trainings, if you will, the agility, therapy, field work, if we choose to go into that direction. I don't know, we'll see. Things with Apollo, he's very high energy, so there's a lot of things we can do that would keep him active and exercising, things that Cosmo had no interest in. So that's definitely something that we're looking towards. The one thing that we do have right now that we're kind of trying to deal with is his prey drive with the cat and his aggression towards Cosmo. And I don't think he means harm to either one of them. I think with Cosmo, he's just trying to show that he's dominant. He's trying to kind of force himself into a place in the house. What he doesn't understand is Cosmo is not a dominant dog. I am forcing the dominance by feeding Cosmo first and feeding Apollo last. That is where I am asserting dominance for Cosmo so that Cosmo understands that he's more important in the house, which isn't the case. I certainly love both of them equally. It's just I want to make sure Cosmo understands that because he's older, he's been here longer, he gets priority. And then with the cat, he just has a high prey drive. He does not mean any harm to the cat. And the cat certainly fights back. But it's certainly different than what it was with Cosmo. Cosmo was always afraid of Corvette. And so I never had, even though Cosmo did have somewhat of a prey drive when he was young, he killed animals in the backyard pretty frequently, bunnies, squirrels, things like that in the backyard. I never had to worry with him with the cat. So I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to understand that Apollo may never be a dog like Cosmo that can be not crated throughout the day when I'm not around, because I do worry about what he may accidentally do with the cat. Again, I don't think he means to be aggressive. I don't think he means to be mean. I don't think he understands the cat is scared when he's trying to play with her. And I don't think he takes her aggression as aggression. I think he takes her aggression as play. So I'm hoping he eventually learns that. One negative thing is Nova does not use her claws against him. I think because she understands that to an extent that he doesn't mean her any harm, and she's just trying to warn him stay away, because he's never once been nicked at all. I mean, even Cosmo got nicked by Corvette and probably even by Nova, but he never has been nicked. So I don't think she uses her claws against him, which I kind of wish she would from time to time, just so he would learn that lesson. Anyway, that's where we are at Apollo at 6 months old. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions about Apollo or the things that we have done so far. Any more tricks that or tricks or tips that you guys want to know about puppy training, or what it's like to have a puppy. This is my first puppy in 13 years. And then Cosmo was my first puppy by myself before that. I mean, I had a Siberian Husky and a German Shepherd when I was a kid, but my parents took care of them. I didn't. And so Cosmo was really my first dog, and Apollo is now my second. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys all next time. If you guys want to see the video where I brought Apollo home, you guys can click right here. If you want to watch the journey of how I came to get Apollo, you can click right here. Otherwise, click here to subscribe to my vlogging channel, where I will be vlogging every week again eventually. And then click here to subscribe to this main channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single one of my videos. And again, comment below letting me know anything you'd like to know about Apollo, or anything you'd like to know about puppyhood in general. And of course, hit the like button and follow for more. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.